When is Silicon Valley? There are many cities that want to be the next Silicon Valley. To do that, they look back to when it all began. This documentary explores the origin of Silicon Valley. Who and what catapulted Silicon Valley as the world's leader of technology and innovation? How is Silicon Valley? Silicon Valley is not just a place. It is not just a concept. It is people. Real people with trials, failures, and victories. People who uproot their lives for one chance. This documentary interviews those people: entrepreneurs, angel investors, venture capitalists, and business owners. People you've heard of and those you never will. What is Silicon Valley? Everyone wants to know. What's it like living in Silicon Valley? What about it draws the young and ambitious? What does it take to rise to the top and stay there? What does a real Shark Tank look like? This documentary answers that and more. What does the future look like? This documentary explores the dark side of Silicon Valley and reveals its shortcomings and challenges. This documentary asks the tough questions from industry leaders and academia. This is your investment into a world that everyone wants to copy and understand. Become part of the story.
The world becomes inhuman, inhospitable to human needs, which are the needs of mortals, when it is violently wrenched into a movement in which there is no longer any sort of permanence.
The United States has produced one of the most successful economic stories in human history. Over the past 50 years, Silicon Valley has been the center of a technological revolution that has transformed the world. And along the way, the revolution of Silicon Valley has made great fortunes, the richest of the rich, a small, elite group of pioneers in the world made possible by the integrated circuit. Known around the world as the high-tech hub that makes startup dreams come true. This is the real story of Silicon Valley. It is the story of sacrifices, failures, victories, and dreams. The story of people, faces of modern technology, entrepreneurs you've never heard of, and the lives that shape our millennium.
My dream as fortunate founder of Kretzer Forum going back 15 years ago was the world's flat. Let's see interesting companies wherever they are in the globe. Let's have great mind share. Let's take our time. Obviously, this is serious what we do. There's a lot of opportunity, a lot of risk.
Plug into the true nature of Silicon Valley. We are more than chips, semiconductors, and information technology. More than codes, .coms, and apps.
And so learning from what customers want. So today, 20 and 30-something millennials want the primary purpose of business is to build a better society as well as make a profit. And that's what we're about, is to build a better society using investor ratings to allocate your portfolio in that way. And it turns out that that has higher returns and lower risk. So you're actually able to beat Wall Street by using hip investor ratings.
What generally is lacking is a culture of constructive failure. The ability to tolerate failure, proceed with your career, do it again, and take your experience and cash in on it as an asset.
We love failure if in fact you articulate you failed in the past, what you've learned about it, and you're back, up the batter's box and about to hit a ball again. But now you've learned to take that slider. Now you've learned to, hit that curveball. But one thing cool, what I say throughout the world, because a lot of places don't embrace change or failure. In Silicon Valley, it's almost a badge of honor.
They need to know how to fail fast and frequently. Okay? The fact is, as many of my colleagues say, if you're not failing sometimes, you're not taking enough risks. In fact, failure is the secret sauce of Silicon Valley. If you look at the number of ventures that get funded and the numbers that are successful, then you have to conclude that venture capitalists actually invest in failures. And in fact, it's clear that the ratio between our successes and our failures are actually pretty stable.
That's the beauty of the internet, is that we're no longer tied to our communities merely by, physical connections.
And what I worry about is that there's not enough thought in Silicon Valley about the cultural payoffs of the new innovations and the new discoveries and the new products. And I think it's going to take someone from outside of the culture of Silicon Valley to open up the really meaningful questions about what kind of technologies do we need, what kind of technologies do we want, what kind of technologies do we not need, and what kind of technologies do we not want.
You have a lot of demand from all the techies. Just think about right now, we're in Palo Alto, California. Within just a mere 10 miles from here, we have Apple, Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, Tesla, and 1,000 promising startups.
Follow our journey. Connect with our hearts. This is our story. We are Silicon Valley.